Have you ever noticed that strange chill in your feet? Or worse, somewhere you never thought would go cold? Maybe it started as a slight numbness, a loss of sensitivity, not pain exactly, just a quiet disconnect, especially down there, where you used to feel strong, responsive, alive. And while your doctor may blame your age or tell you it's all part of the process, what if that explanation is missing the real truth? Because here's what most men don't realize. When circulation begins to slow, it doesn't just affect your hands or feet, it affects your confidence, your energy, your sense of manhood. And the first signs often show up in the most private of places: less sensitivity, less response, less you. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You've probably heard of garlic as a natural circulation booster, and it works, yes. But what if I told you there's one simple leafy food that might be even more powerful? Something that doesn't just protect your blood vessels, but helps restore the exact pathway your body needs to feel alive again. A natural green leaf that's been quietly proven to open up blood flow right where it matters. And most men walk right past it in the grocery aisle without a second glance. And no, this isn't some rare exotic superfood. In fact, you might already have it in your fridge. And the science behind it? Stronger than most over-the-counter solutions and safer than any pill. Let me tell you about a man named Leonard. He's 69, retired, and one morning he sat in my office with a simple but painful confession. He said, "Doc, I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's not dysfunction, not exactly. I just don't feel connected anymore, like I'm fading, like that part of me is still there, but asleep." He thought it was just his age catching up. Maybe his heart wasn't as strong. Maybe his testosterone was down. Maybe he was just done. But what we discovered together changed everything, and it started with one glass, a smoothie made with a few handfuls of this powerful green leaf. What happened next is something I've seen again and again in my clinic, because what Leonard was feeling wasn't age. It was poor circulation, and more importantly, it was fixable. In this video, I'll show you how one overlooked vegetable, backed by science, can help restore blood flow to the places that matter most. You'll learn how it works, how to use it, and why starting this habit in the morning can gently reawaken the parts of you that might feel like they've gone silent. If you've ever felt like something's missing, not just in performance, but in presence, in sensation, in your body's quiet response, then stay with me. Because this isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring flow. It's about listening to your body before it stops talking altogether. You haven't lost your edge. Your body hasn't given up. It's just waiting for the right support. And it may begin with something as simple as a leaf. I'm Dr. Lily Anderson. I'm a board-certified physician specializing in men's health, nutrition, and circulatory restoration. And for over 25 years, I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond who quietly carry the same concerns: low energy, cold hands and feet, and that deep, difficult-to-explain sense of disconnect down there. I've sat across from men who once felt powerful, vital, and in control, and now find themselves wondering if those days are simply gone. The truth is, aging does bring changes. But what I've seen again and again in my clinical practice is this. Most men aren't broken. Their bodies aren't failing. They're simply running on the wrong fuel or missing one crucial ingredient that keeps blood flowing where it's needed most. What you're about to learn in this video is not a shortcut, and it's not hype. It's a science-backed strategy rooted in how your blood vessels actually work, especially the ones that supply your most intimate areas. This isn't about medications, powders, or expensive programs. It's about one powerful but forgotten food that supports nitric oxide, relaxes your arteries, and restores what time and stress have taken away. So if you've been feeling slower, colder, or less present in your body, don't worry. We're going to walk through exactly why that's happening and how to begin turning it around starting this week. All you need is an open mind, a few minutes a day, and the willingness to try something new. Let's take that first step. together. If there's one food I wish every man over 60 would eat at least 3 times a week, it's this one: spinach. Yes, that humble green leaf you often see in the produce aisle. Not flashy, not exotic. But inside each leaf is a powerful gift for your circulation, especially down there where it matters most. Let me explain why. As we age, the biggest silent change in a man's body isn't testosterone, it's blood flow. And blood flow depends on a remarkable molecule your body makes called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as your body's natural signal to open up. It tells your blood vessels to relax, expand, and allow more oxygen-rich blood to move freely, especially into the smallest vessels in your pelvis, groin, and intimate regions. Without it, those areas don't just lose function, they lose sensation. Now here's the problem. By the time you hit 60, your body's ability to produce nitric oxide drops by up to 50%. That means even if your heart is strong and your labs look normal, you may still feel cold, numb, or unresponsive, especially in places you used to feel alive. This is where spinach comes in. Spinach is one of nature's richest sources of dietary nitrates. When you eat it, those nitrates are converted into nitric oxide through a unique biological pathway that bypasses age-related decline. Translation: it gives your blood vessels the signal they've been missing. But here's the best part. It's not just about feeling warm. It's about waking up parts of you that may have felt quiet for years. I've seen it happen in patients who thought they were too far gone. And it all started with a glass, a smoothie to be exact. Let's talk about how to use it right. The spinach smoothie protocol. The best time to consume spinach is first thing in the morning, before coffee, before breakfast, on an empty stomach if possible. Why? Because that's when your nitric oxide levels are naturally lowest and your blood vessels are more responsive to support. Try this recipe: 1 to 2 cups of fresh baby spinach, 1/2 banana, natural sweetness plus potassium for blood pressure, 1/4 avocado, healthy fats enhance nutrient absorption, 1/2 cup blueberries or strawberries, antioxidants protect nitric oxide, 1/2 cup water or unsweetened almond milk. Optional, 1 teaspoon flax seeds for extra circulation support. Blend until smooth and drink slowly. This one drink, done consistently, can start to shift your body from survive mode back into responsive mode. What many men don't realize is that this isn't about one giant fix. It's about small inputs that quietly build up until one morning something feels different. You feel more connected, more present, more you. Why spinach works better than most superfoods. While garlic gets a lot of attention, and it should, spinach works through a different and powerful mechanism. Garlic helps relax blood vessels via hydrogen sulfide production. Spinach, on the other hand, delivers the raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide directly. It's like comparing a switch, garlic with electricity, spinach. You need both, but without the power supply, no switch will work. In fact, just 1 serving of spinach, about 100 grams, provides over 800 milligrams of natural nitrate, enough to measurably increase nitric oxide levels for 6 to 8 hours. That means better blood flow not just in your hands or feet, but in your pelvic region too. Timing matters peak. Nitric oxide production from spinach happens 2 to 3 hours after eating. So if you drink your smoothie at 7 a.m., you may start noticing improvements by 9 or 10 a.m., and it lasts well into the afternoon. For men who feel sluggish, cold, or unmotivated during the day, this timing can be a game changer. And if you combine spinach with other nitrate-protecting foods like citrus fruits, beets, or dark chocolate later in the day, you're reinforcing that benefit even further. Cautions and notes. Spinach is safe for most people, but there are a few things to keep in mind. If you're on blood thinners or medications for kidney issues, check with your doctor first. For men prone to kidney stones, moderate spinach intake is best. Don't go overboard. Always wash your greens well, and when possible, choose organic to avoid pesticide load. One more tip: don't cook it to death. Light steaming is okay, but raw is best for preserving nitrate content. And don't worry if smoothies aren't your thing. You can also mix spinach into morning omelets, warm grain bowls with quinoa and olive oil salads with lemon and pumpkin seeds, extra circulation, boost, green wraps with hummus or turkey. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. If you start integrating spinach into your routine even 3 to 4 mornings per week, you'll begin to feel the shifts. More warmth, more energy, and yes, more responsiveness in places that may have felt quiet for far too long. It's not about chasing youth. It's about supporting the system that kept you feeling young to begin with, your circulatory system. And spinach? It's one of the most powerful, natural tools we have to do just that. In the next section, I want to show you a real story. A patient who quietly struggled with that fading sensation, who thought there was no way back, and who found surprising hope in a leaf. His name was Thomas, a quiet, thoughtful man, 68 years old, retired high school principal. He walked into my clinic on a rainy Tuesday morning with a calm smile. But you could feel something behind it, something unsettled. When I asked what brought him in, he paused for a moment, then said something I'll never forget. "I feel like my body's pulling away from me, Dr. Anderson, especially the parts that used to feel the most alive. It's not painful. It's just like someone slowly turned the volume down." He wasn't referring to pain or dysfunction. He still walked every morning, still took care of his garden, but deep down, he was worried about something most men never speak of out loud. "I still love my wife," he added softly, "but I don't feel present when we're together. It's like there's a wall between us. I miss feeling connected. I miss feeling like me." His hands were cold to the touch. His blood pressure was a bit elevated, but nothing alarming. His labs looked good on paper, but everything in his voice told me he was fading, not from disease, from lack of flow. So I asked him about his mornings, and sure enough, his day started the way so many older men's do. A cup of coffee, toast with butter, sometimes cereal. Fast, familiar, but empty. No water, no color, no circulation support. I told him something simple. "Thomas, what if we don't start with medicine? What if we start with a leaf?" He chuckled. "You're going to prescribe me spinach?" "Not prescribe," I said, but invited in. I gave him a plan. For the next 3 weeks, every morning before anything else, he'd drink a spinach smoothie. I gave him the recipe. Spinach, banana, avocado, berries, water. Nothing fancy, just fuel. And I asked him to pay attention, not just to performance, but to his hands, his feet, his energy, his presence. He agreed, said he was willing to try, said he didn't expect a miracle, just wanted to feel something again. 2 weeks later, he came back, and I knew before he spoke that something had shifted. His cheeks had color. His hands were warm, his posture straighter, his voice just a little more steady. "I don't know what's happening," he said, almost embarrassed, "but I feel warmer. I'm waking up earlier, and I can feel my wife's hand again, not just touch it, feel it." He paused and then added, "We had a moment last night. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet moment, and I was fully there, for the first time in a while." It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't magic. It was spinach. Or more precisely, it was his blood vessels finally getting the signal they had been missing, nitric oxide returning, circulation flowing, warmth and responsiveness quietly coming back online. You see, Thomas didn't need a pill. He didn't need a performance booster. He needed to feel alive again, and his body was still capable of that once we gave it the right support. I've seen this story repeat again and again. Not always dramatic, not always fast, but always possible. Sometimes all it takes is one green leaf and a little consistency to wake something up inside you that you thought was gone for good. And that's what I want you to hold on to. Because if Thomas, at 68, could rediscover connection, starting with a smoothie, then what might be possible for you? In the next part of this video, I'll break down exactly why spinach works this way. I'll explain what nitric oxide is, how it changes after 60, and what's really happening inside your blood vessels when things feel cold, numb, or unresponsive. The good news? Once you understand the science, you'll realize your body isn't broken. It just needs a little reminder. Let's dive in. So, why does spinach help? Why does something so simple, so familiar, have the power to reawaken circulation and sensation in areas that often feel forgotten? The answer lies inside your blood vessels, and one little molecule that most men never hear about until it's too late. That molecule is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, or NO for short, is a gas your body naturally produces. But don't let the word gas fool you. This molecule is a messenger, a critical signal your body sends to your blood vessels telling them to relax, open up, and let blood flow freely. Think of it like this. When you're young, your arteries are like soft rubber hoses, flexible, responsive, able to expand on demand. Blood flows smoothly, even into the tiniest capillaries, including the ones in your hands, feet, and yes, your most intimate areas. But as you age, especially past 60, things change. Those once flexible vessels start to stiffen. The inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium, becomes less responsive, and the natural production of nitric oxide slows down, sometimes by more than 50%. It doesn't happen overnight, but one morning your hands feel colder. Your feet take longer to warm up. Your energy dips before noon, and intimacy? It starts to feel more distant, not because the desire is gone, but because the blood flow isn't there to meet it. And here's the silent truth. You can be in great shape and still suffer from poor circulation where it matters most. That's where spinach comes in. Spinach, along with a few other leafy greens like arugula and beet greens, is loaded with natural nitrates, compounds that your body converts into nitric oxide. Here's how it works. Step 1. You eat spinach. Step 2, your saliva, gut, and blood convert the nitrates in spinach into nitrites and then into nitric oxide. Step 3, that nitric oxide sends a powerful signal to your arteries. Relax, open up, let the blood flow. And unlike pills that force blood flow through one chemical pathway, spinach works with your body's natural mechanisms, gently restoring what was already there, just dormant. Even better, the nitrates in spinach are bioavailable, meaning your body actually absorbs and uses them well, especially if you consume them raw or lightly blended in a smoothie. But it doesn't stop there. Spinach also contains magnesium, which helps regulate muscle tone and blood vessel dilation folate, important for red blood cell production, vitamin C, and antioxidants, which protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. That means when you drink a spinach smoothie, you're not just supporting circulation, you're protecting it. You're helping your blood vessels stay flexible, your nitric oxide lasts longer, and your energy remains steady throughout the day. Let's go even deeper. Remember that word endothelium I mentioned earlier? That's the thin lining inside every blood vessel in your body. Think of it like the skin of your arteries. It's incredibly important and also incredibly fragile. Poor diet, stress, inactivity, and age all wear it down. When it's damaged, your vessels can't respond properly. They stay tight. Blood pressure goes up. Flow slows down. And the smallest vessels, like the ones in your pelvic region, are the first to suffer. But spinach helps repair that lining. The nitrates tell the endothelium, you're still needed. Keep working. And over time, with consistent support, it starts to respond again. You may begin to feel it as a sense of warmth, or a lighter step, or a return of subtle sensations that had gone missing. And yes, for many men, it means morning wood returning, not forced, not artificial, just natural blood flow happening as it should. That's the power of spinach, not because it's magical, but because it supports the very process your body relies on to stay alive, alert, and connected. Let me be clear. Spinach alone won't solve every health challenge. It won't fix a blocked artery or replace decades of damage. But for many men, it can gently reverse the early signs of poor circulation without side effects or risk. And when combined with other circulation-friendly habits, like walking after meals, hydrating early, and sleeping well, it becomes part of a system, a rhythm, a return to flow. That's what this is really about. Not just food, but blood, motion, energy, and the quiet, powerful reminder that your body still knows how to respond if you give it the right signal. Spinach may seem simple, but inside your bloodstream, it speaks a language your body remembers. And when you speak that language daily, even in small ways, the response can be life-changing. In the next part of this video, I want to talk directly to you about what it means to start small, especially if it's been a long time since you felt in control of your health. You don't need to change everything. You just need to begin. Maybe, as you've been listening, a quiet thought has been forming in your mind. Something like, could this really work for me? Is it too late to make a difference? Or maybe even, I've ignored my health for so long, I don't even know where to start. If that's you, I want to say something very clearly from one human being to another. You have not missed your chance. No matter how long it's been, no matter how far you feel from the person you used to be, no matter how many mornings have passed where you felt disconnected, sluggish, or alone in your own body, your system still responds, your blood vessels still listen, and your body still wants to come back to life. But here's the thing. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to give up everything you love. You don't even need to be perfect. You just need one small shift. A moment of care each morning. A decision to support the flow inside you so your body has a chance to show you what it can still do. I've had patients in their 70s, even 80s, who started with a single step. One man began with a smoothie every third day. Another simply added a handful of spinach to his scrambled eggs. Some didn't even like the taste, but they liked how they felt after 2 weeks. Lighter, warmer, more present. It wasn't dramatic. It was steady. That's how change works in the second half of life, not with fireworks, but with rhythm. Maybe your rhythm starts tomorrow morning. Maybe it begins by slicing a banana, rinsing a handful of spinach, and blending something green before your first cup of coffee. Maybe it begins by believing you're worth that small effort, because you are. Your body may have slowed, but your value has not. Your capacity for joy, intimacy, and energy, it's still inside you. And the truth is, the very areas you think are fading are often just waiting for blood flow to return. You don't need pressure. You need permission. Permission to start small, to be kind to yourself, to show up for your body, not as a punishment, but as a quiet act of respect. Maybe no one taught you how to care for your circulation. Maybe you were raised to tough it out and man up. But manhood isn't about silence or suffering. It's about knowing when to listen to your body and choosing to act with intention. And that's what you're doing right now, just by being here. Just by watching this far, you're already stepping back toward connection, not just with your health, but with yourself. So if you're ready, even just a little, pick one small thing to try this week. A spinach smoothie, a walk after breakfast, a glass of lemon water before your day begins. Not because you have to, but because deep down, you know, you want to feel like you again. In the final part of this video, I'll share how your story could inspire someone else, how even a single comment, a question, or a word of encouragement could help another man feel a little less alone. Let's take this journey, one quiet morning at a time. If you've made it this far, I want to pause and thank you, not just for watching this video, but for showing up for yourself. That's not easy to do, especially when the topic is quiet, private, and often buried under years of silence. But the fact that you're still here tells me something important. You care. Maybe you're tired of feeling like your best days are behind you. Maybe you're not ready to give up on warmth, sensation, or connection. Maybe a part of you still believes you deserve to feel like you again. And you do. Let me tell you something I tell my patients often. Healing doesn't always begin with a diagnosis. Sometimes it begins with a conversation. So if something in this video resonated with you, if you saw yourself in Thomas's story, if you felt that quiet distance growing in your body, leave a comment below. You don't have to share everything. You can simply type a 1 if you're ready to start, or share one small change you're committing to this week. Because when you speak up, even just a little, someone else out there feels less alone. There's a man watching this right now who's afraid to ask, afraid to hope, afraid to believe change is still possible. Your words might be the reason he takes his first step. And if you have a question, drop it below too. I read every single comment. This is a space for real answers, real support, and real men taking back their health together. If you'd like to keep learning, if you want more science-backed tools to restore circulation, vitality, and confidence in the second half of life, just hit subscribe and tap the bell. Not because this channel is about quick fixes or flashy promises, but because it's about you and the life you still have ahead. I'll be here week after week sharing what works, what helps, what reminds you that your body hasn't given up. It just needs the right rhythm again. So take a deep breath. Choose one small thing to begin. And know that wherever you're starting from, you're not doing this alone. You've got this. I'm Dr. Lily Anderson. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.